Hello everybody, this is the Vikstrand. Today we're going to talk about the movie year of 2003. Lots of great movies, but when it came to comic book movies, not a very good year. Apart maybe from X-Men 2. Daredevil, not a very good movie. This one, neither a very good movie. But this was at least a movie that attempted something. This was a movie that tried something. Ang Lee, fresh off his Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon movie that, granted him a lot of attention and a lot of, awards and stuff like that, decided to tackle a weird subject. He made Hulk. And let's see what is technically actually the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is actually like. This is Hulk. So Bruce Banner is a brilliant scientist along with Betty Ross. They are played by Eric Bana and Jennifer Connelly. They're having this gene splicing thing that they're focusing on, and they're great scientists and stuff like that. General Ross, played by Sam Elliott, great casting decision by the way, isn't too happy about the relationship that Betty and Bruce used to have. But they're colleagues now and trying to get things going with their sciencey thing. Even though Talbot is always threatening to shut them down. Talbot, by the way, has maybe the most slappable face in the history of movies, and a 100% douche. And I'm sure that the Hulk will clean his teeth with him eventually. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because there is a mysterious man that is skulking around the area. It is of course Papa Banner, played by Nick Nolte, in one of the most overacting things I've seen in my entire life. What's his story? Why is he here? Why is he trying to reconnect with his son in some way? And what did happen in the late 60s? And with them as a family. We'll see, because the accident waiting to happen is of course going to happen, and Bruce Banner is going to turn into the Incredible Hulk, and we'll see where it goes from there. Now this movie, it attempted something. It was a risk-taking. Ang Lee really tried something with this one, because the transition shots is unlike anything else I've ever seen. A lot of the times we have these weird transition shots when things turns into comic book panels and stuff like that. You can either love this or you can either hate this, but I don't think you can have a I don't care attitude about it. I for once think it was a fresh idea and it worked really well. I think the formula would have grown stale if they would have done it for multiple sequels and stuff like that. So with that going for itself, it wasn't too good. I think personally that the Hulk CGI isn't too bad actually. I think it is good. It looks kind of fake and it looks kind of hokey, but I personally think that the movie has aged better than it probably gets credit for, because most people think today that it looks kind of bad. But after 1 hour, we have been pretty much pulled into this movie with the very, very clever use of revealing small stuff time after time, because we don't get the mystery of the Banner family history, all the time. We're getting small little tidbits and we're puzzling things together. Now, 1 hour in this movie, we are in sync with the story. We like the characters. The acting is a bit so-and-so, considering, we're having Eric Bana and Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer Connelly and Eric Bana is two very good actors who has put on a somewhat lackluster performances, and they have non-existing chemistry together. But nevertheless, we are in this movie and we're with you, Ang Lee, because you trusted us. And you trusted us, and we have followed you so far. Sequences that shouldn't have, worked when you're looking at them, on paper, like Hulk fighting gigantic monster poodles, should be the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, but it kind of works because Ang Lee believes it, now we believe it. And we're kind of setting up for what essentially is a great finale, and when Hulk is running rampage, it looks so fucking cool. However, we then have to go to the incredibly terrible ending. It's a very weird one. I've never seen anything like this before, so it was new at least. It's a weird combination of a Pinter play basically, and I don't know. It has some of the most overacting I've ever seen in my entire life. It probably has some of the strangest scenery I've ever seen in a comic book movie. It doesn't look like your classical finale of an MCU movie at all. It just is something different. And it sucked. Now, should you see this movie or not? It's really much up for debate. I personally think that this movie has a very good middle. It has a bit of a slow start and a rather terrible ending. There are bits and pieces of this movie that is good. There are bits and pieces of this movie that's great. The best part of it is probably Sam Elliott as General Ross. Nobody will ever top General Ross played by Sam Elliott ever. Personally, I think Edward Norton is the best Bruce Banner we've ever had. Some of the action sequences are really good, the mystery is very good, but the villain that will show up kind of out of nowhere is really underwhelming and is really dumb, and I really hated it. The finale is an absolute shitstorm. But it is not the worst thing that has ever been done in the name of comic book movies. But should you see it, it depends on how much patience you have with this one, and it will look very different from the other MCU movies, but I personally think that it is better than its reputation would suggest. Ang Lee is a very good filmmaker and took a really big risk with this one. It's really sad to see the terrible third act of this movie that brings the movie down. I am going to have to give it 51 points because in the end this is an entertaining movie with some great Hulk action, especially the sequences with the tanks. Those are absolutely phenomenal. It is the best sequence featuring the Hulk outside of Thor Ragnarök. With a better finish, I think we could have ended up in the upper 70s, low 80s probably when it comes to the ratings, but it is gonna have to do with 51 points. So I'll see you next time from well so and so reviewing well such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.